From cheers of the fans to the crack of the bat, learn it all from Jimbo, Gabe, Mike, and Matt. Giving thoughts on all poly teams, whether times are boom or if they are lean. Hero players that you should know, not only the good things, highs and the lows. Here it is, we're ready to go. Please enjoy the podcast. On with the show.
Good morning, good evening, and good everything in between, and welcome to the podcast. It's our final show of the regular season. I'm your host, Jim Bobernick, and I'm joined as always by Mr. Gabe Lerman. How you doing, Gabe?
Staring oblivion in the face. Our jobs are at risk, Jimbo. Google's come up with something called Notebook LM. It's an LLM, so generative AI, that can consume articles and spit it back out in a podcast format. Basically what we do. We're screwed.
No, that's not good. You didn't tell me this before we started.
Not the first time I've been fired.
And we're joined also, as always, by Mr. Michael Bewey. How you doing, Mike?
I'd like to say I'm relaxed, but I have the NL Wildcard Game 3 on my other monitor, so I got that going for me at the same time as this.
But I mean, why do you... Oh, because you want the Mets to lose.
Yes, there you go.
But wouldn't you like it for the Phillies to beat the Mets? Can I
when I have that thought process, the universe tends to punish me.
All right, okay, that's fair enough. And we are joined as, not always, but I'm very happy when he is here, Mr. Matthew Seibert. How you doing, Matt?
I am glad to be back. I am summoned by news and had a night where I could actually be on the call, so it's exciting.
Yep, and speaking of, we had a little bit of a Japanese article that Matt was kind enough to translate for us because he speaks Japanese much better than I do. Matt, what do you have for us on we got some pitch clock stuff going on here?
Yes, so there were a couple of articles I was looking at. One I have to dive in a little bit more in depth before I can share that. I might do some cliff notes. But as far as the pitch clock goes, basically the owners are gathering and trying to look at the game times and see, do we need to institute a pitch clock? They're saying that games have become roughly 5 minutes shorter or so in the last year when they've had this change at the lower levels, the farm level. And they're thinking of instituting a timer where a batter has to be ready to bat within 30 seconds of the previous at-bat ending. It's basically the Manfred clock. And right now, they are determined that it's going to continue to get testing in Farm League, and next season at least, they are not going to use it at the NPB level just yet. But because the World Baseball Classic is coming up, the manager of Samurai Japan, Ibata, is already considering, they're talking about using this for that, so we do have to prepare for it.
Well, all right. I mean,
there's the story on that one.
I'm not against that. I don't hate the pitch clock, so I'm not going to lose sleep over it. What do you guys
I know
think?
one of my tweeps is absolutely going to hate that news, but sorry, Wajahat.
And it's not coming to NPB yet, so that's something we can take comfort in for the time being. That doesn't say anything about the future. They're still testing the viability here.
Yep, take solace in that at least.
I mean, as long as it's not the Ghost Runner, right? Like I think for me, that's like
no Manfred Man, please.
Yeah. That's even for me, somebody who's kind of pro speed of the game. Though I don't need the Ghost Runner. That's unnecessary.
I do remember there was talks about adding the Manfred Man, but that hasn't materialized anything yet.
No, let's hope that's.
Speaking of something else, speaking of something else that hasn't materialized yet, a very, very brief summary. I mentioned previously on the podcast that there is this plan in starting the 2026 season to possibly add 5 games to each team's schedule. It'd be another contest against their league opponents. And the Players Union did not go for it, at least not simply adding games. This article says that behind the scenes there are 2 incredible demands the Players Union is making. So we'll see if this happens out. One of them is increasing interleague back again. Initially, it started out as like almost twice as much as it is now, and they're thinking of increasing it somewhat. No numbers per se in this article. And the second condition is that they make an official team for Kufu Hayate Adventures and the Oisix Albirex team, so they don't just have a farm league team and no top level team. This is mostly speculation on my part until I can dive in and get all of the translation done. And all of this is still in meetings. So nothing has been decided, but that's the news. Look forward to more as I figure out what's all, behind it here.
Yep, but it has been decided, something that is locked in, are around the horn standings. I think every team is now set in for the final around the horn of the regular season. And as always, throughout the season, we are kicking off with the champion, Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. They've racked up 90 wins this season with one game to play, the first time they've done so since 2017. And it is a home game against the Marines, so I think they should be able to take care of that. But also, I'm not going to get ahead of myself and already chalk that up as a win. But it would be cool if they did win, because then manager Hiroki Kokubo would become the first manager in MPB history to reach 91 wins in his first season. Right now, he's tied with Haruki Ihara of the 2002 Lions and fellow Hawk Kimiyasu Kudo in 2015, when each of them reached 90 wins. So it'd be nice to see him get that 91 win mark in his first season. And also a little shout out to Mr. Jeter Downs, who picked up his first NPB home run. I would imagine his contract carries over into next season because he signed on pretty late, as I recall. And a little shout out to Ryota Kurihara, my pick for future one-day captain of the Hawks. Now that he's healthy again, he's doing fantastic, having one of the best seasons of his career, and has just racked up his 40th double of the season, tying a club record set back in 1948. So, mazel tov to him and all the Hawks. And again, I'm always kind of a little bit nervous, but I think they're still going to win it. Let's keep going. Oh, also, the 4-2 since we last spoke. Forgot about that. Again, I'm just really nervous about the postseason now because we're all settled up for the regular season.
And the Hawks have like a 2-week layoff with the first stage going before, and like a 5-day gap between the last regular season game and the start of the Climax Series first stage. So they will be well rested. Maybe Yanagita's back and healthy. Who knows?
Maybe Kondo. We'll see.
Oh, that'd be big.
I'm praying that it's rest and recovery and not cooling off and rust. But we're going to kick it off to a team that is not. Oh, sorry.
As a fan of Rocktober, layoffs suck. That's all I will say for now.
And so we're going to kick over to a team that is not going to get a break because they are going to go right into the Climax Series. The Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. Take it away, Gabe.
Basically, the day after we recorded the last podcast, it finally happened. The Fighters have clinched their first postseason berth since 2018, the season after Otani left. And not only that, there will be home postseason games at Escon Field, Hokkaido for the first time in its history. Games 1, 2, and 3, if required, of the Climax Series first stage will be October 12th to 14th. All game starts are 2 p.m. Japan time, 1 a.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Pacific. Stay up late and watch some postseason baseball. It's going to be such fun. The Fighters
11 p.m. Mountain. That's hard to staying up.
Yeah.
I might watch it.
Nippon Ham went 18-6-1 against Lotte in the regular season, so gotta be feeling somewhat confident going into this series. The Fighters have only 2 games left, both in Sendai against the Eagles, with a Buffaloes game in between. So they'll play, have a game off, play again, season over. At least they're not neglecting their fans back in the Tokyo area. The Fighters did start there after all. The Fighters farm team in Kamagaya will be offering free viewings of all first stage games, plus the first 2 of the final stage should the Fighters advance. Pretty cool stuff if you're living in the Tokyo area. The winning pitcher in the clinching game was Hiromi Ito, who has now pitched 3 complete games in a row. Oh, he is so ready for the postseason. I'd probably start him game 1 and roll Kato for game 2. Game 3, probably Yamasaki, maybe Koki Kitayama. Tough call. And of course, big boss Tsuyoshi Shinjo had to get the mic after the final game at home. In his thank you speech to the fans, he asked Franmil Reyes and Ariel Martinez to stick around next season. Given the Franimal hit 25 home runs and slugged .568 over only 98 games, I think he likes batting in the PL. Doshin Sports has reported the teams made contract deals, but nothing's confirmed yet. We may not hear an answer on that till after the season. One last note for the Fighters. Congrats and banzai to Naoki Miyanishi, the ageless legend, now 4th on the all-time leaderboard for mound appearances.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited for playoff baseball in Hokkaido, and I really hope Franmil and Ariel stay around, but especially Franmil. Man, the Fighters are the one team as a Hawks fan I'm scared of. They're the only team that had a winning record against them all season, and they're hot. They're playing good, and
They
so
loom.
they do loom.
Beware, they
They
loom.
they are arriving. They are impending. That's the word. And that brings us over to our third place team, the Chiba Lodi Marines. Take it away, Mike.
Okay, so the Marines have clinched. Finally, they took a 2-game series from Rakuten in order to do it. Finally, Marines fans can relax for at least a little bit as they walk towards the end of the season and look forward to the climax series where they, as aforementioned, will take on the Fighters. I'll get to more of that in a bit, but one of the bigger details today, Dallas Keuchel started earlier today and was pulled from the game in the second inning with a left hamstring issue, so hoping everything is clear there. Wouldn't want to lose him for the climax series, but a Marines playoff rotation of Sasaki, Taneichi, and Ojima wouldn't be the end of the world, in my opinion. Good three to have. Those three have had difficulties with the Fighters this year, as has the entire team and the majority of them specifically, let's be real. Sasaki 0-2 in 5 starts with a 3.81 ERA in 26 innings. Tanichi 1-2 in 3 starts with a 9 ERA in 14 innings. Ojima 1-4 in 7 starts with a 3.28 ERA in 49 innings. So Ojima's had I don't want to say the best luck considering he's 1-4, but lower ERA and has pitched there more. But at least the Marines have a clear advantage in the top of the rotation in Roki Sasaki. I mean, he is a literal cheat code. He finally got double-digit wins this year for the first time in his career.
And he still didn't qualify for the ERA title. I'm sure Chiba is so happy with him.
Quack.
But as mentioned earlier by Gabe, the team's record against the Fighters as a whole this year was 6-18-1, and they have a 2.42 batting average and a 3.98 ERA against the Fighters. So could be worse. Could be worse. Could totally be worse. Moving on, Akito Takabe's season is over thanks to a right knee surgical procedure that he got on the 26th. This season, Akito had a slash line of 300, 348, and 381 with a WRC plus of 118 over 76 games. So pretty big loss there. Hopefully he's able to recover and come back stronger next year. Congrats to Ryusei Terichi for his first career NPB hit and his first NPB game, a double off the wall that was almost a home run, and the catcher is only 19 years old, so kind of Ko Matsukawa territory right there, because I believe he's still only like
20, 21, yeah.
something like that. Hasn't aged in 2 years somehow. He just graduated high school when he caught that perfect game, if I recall correctly, 2 years ago.
You'd recall correctly.
Oh boy. That's pretty much all I have for the Marines. Not trying to move past the climax series, but looking through the offseason a little bit, I would like to once again see Polanco back. As for Soto, he's been the most productive batter for them all season, really. I would like to see him back. He is getting up there in age, so I mean, if the price is right, but hey, it's not my money.
Well, I hope Blanco and Soto are back. They're a nice 1-2 punch, and they seem to enjoy their time. I mean, Blanco's been there for a few seasons now, and yeah, I just always hope everyone's back. There's only
I
one
just
player.
want every team to have fun.
Oh, so you want Alfredo Despania back?
I was gonna say there's only one player I've ever not wanted to see
Cut
ever.
that out. Cut that out.
Oh,
Flip
boy.
Okay, but that's all I have for the Marines right now.
And so that brings us over to our fourth place team, the team that just missed out on the playoffs yet again this season, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Take it away again, Mike.
So yeah, short news and notes for the Eagles. Season's winding down. At least there's the final homestand to get the fans excited. Because let's be real, even the most hardcore or angry Rakuten fans are really gonna miss them once that offseason's in full swing. That's baseball offseason is the hardest offseason in my opinion. But then again, I do hate every other sport, so. Moving on from that, Sports Hochi is reporting that Rakuten management won't discuss manager Toshiaki Imai's future with the club until the season is over. Getting into third place was good, but dropping 8 of 10 after doing so has sunk this club, missing the playoffs. But it's his first full season managing. I don't think there's any reason to change anything.
He wouldn't be the first Eagles manager to get canned after one season. I think he'd be the 4th or 5th.
High expectations.
I was about to say, expectations has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, me personally, I wouldn't, but that's why I don't manage, baseball teams. And just one other thing, Masahiro Tanaka did make his return to the club over this weekend, but he's already been deregistered and looking to save his arm for next year. it would be cool to see him maybe in like the Australian League or the Asian Winter League or somewhere, just so he, gets some more starts because he's been, injured this whole year. And I guess maybe in the offseason he'll do some simulated stuff.
I
All
did
right.
want to throw in one note about the Eagles real quick because this kind of quirk of the schedule that they had so many rainouts this year that over the course of 5 days they play every single team in the Pacific with no repeats, all at home
The final gauntlet.
to end their season. That's just wild to me how that worked out.
Okay, I can confirm if Toshiaki Imai is relieved of his duties after this season, he would indeed be the 5th Eagles manager to be let go after a single season, joining Yasushi Tao, who was the manager for the Eagles' debut season, Marty Brown in 2010, Hiromoto Okubo in 2015, and Hajime Miki in 2020.
Tough crowd.
Yeah.
And that brings us over to our 5th place team, the Oryx Buffaloes. Take it away, Gabe.
Not much to talk about. They got shut out again on September 30th. That makes it 24 times. That ties a club record. And I believe their last game of the season is in Sendai against the Buffaloes. Well, at least the pitching has been dominant. Look for Hiroya Miyagi to get the start in that final game. The lefty from Okinawa is 7 1/3 innings shy of qualifying for the ERA title. And his 1.92 ERA right now would place him second in that race behind Levon Moinello if he qualified right now. If those 7 1/3 are scoreless or even allowing one run, Mr. Miyagi will wax away with the ERA crown.
Don't you mean wax off?
I managed to make it the whole season. Let me have this one.
Oh, that hurt me. Like genuine pain in my soul hearing that. Oh, wow. Only for my spirits to be broken one final time before getting into the final team in the roundabout. Or the roundabout. Is that what we call it? No, what is it?
I'll be a roundabout.
Wait a minute. Wait, what is this?
Copyright strike.
Round the horn, Jimmy.
Around the horn, that's what it is. Yeah, my brain was just like, I don't know. That Miyagi thing just like stun grenade, just totally erased every semblance.
It's been the
of
off season for the
activity.
Lions coverage for a while. It's
Yeah,
okay.
that's fair. That's not even an overstatement or understatement. So we are down to the doldrums in the final place of the Around the Horn with the Site Tamasebu Lions for the final time. Hey, 3-2 since we last spoke with some nice ones coming against the Fighters and the Hawks. I mean, someone had to roll out rookies against them, right? But there's some positive stuff to say. Natsuki Takeuchi becomes the first Lions rookie to win 10 games since Takeuchi Kishi, now with the Eagles, was the Japan Series MVP back in 2008, last time the Lions won it. So here's hoping Natsuki can copy that. And he's also the first Lions Southpaw to do so. So that's nice for him. I mean, he's been like one of the only positive things for the Lions all season. So let's hope he stays healthy and keeps up how well he's been playing. Also, a little shout out to Albert Abreu, an overlooked closer. I didn't talk a lot about the Lions bullpen this year because they didn't have many leads to protect. But man, last year it was a problem. So, hey, his first season in Japan, he had a 2.39 ERA over 52 games with 28 saves and 11 holds. I hope he stays. I hope this isn't like who was the closer at the end of last season who was actually really solid, but he went back to the Yankees. Who was that? Anyway, you know who I'm talking about, podcast listeners.
Krisky?
Yeah, Krisky, that was it. Yeah. He was good, but then he's gone again. And also something kind of cool. The Lions' average home attendance has been locked in, and they averaged 21,789. Kind of we were talking about most of the year, and that's actually up 1,700 from last season. So clearly, even for as really rough as this season's been, the Saitama natives have been coming out to see their boys and still enjoying the baseball because, like I said, the Lions games still seem like a lot of fun, even though the Lions aren't playing very well. And by the way, I looked into this. That attendance would put them 24th among the MLB, just over the Pittsburgh Pirates and Kansas City Royals. So, I mean, that's pretty good for the worst team in the league by a mile. You know what I mean? That's some pretty good attendance numbers, actually.
Cheap
And
tickets
let's
for
not-
away fans.
There you go.
And let's not forget, NPB stadiums do tend to be smaller than MLB. I'm pretty sure the Tokyo Dome is the only one on par. Maybe Koshien. Oh, Koshien too, yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
was going to say
Goshen's had
Colchian has got
really
like
good attendance this year.
60,000 or something like that. So
48,000 if memory serves.
wow.
But yeah, that is the end of the Around the Horn segment. I remember what it was called that time. And so let's kick it over to our final segment. We got our familiar faces in new places. How are the boys doing stateside?
Congratulations to the following Pacific League alumni for making the MLB postseason. Shohei Ohtani and NLDS Game 1 starter Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the Los Angeles Dodgers, just announced by the Dodgers earlier today. Yu Darvish and Yuki Matsui on the Padres, who will be playing the Dodgers after sweeping the Atlanta Braves out in the wildcard series. Yusei Kikuchi on the Houston Astros. Oops. How about those Detroit Tigers? And the injured Kodai Senga, whose New York Mets are down 2-0 with 3 outs to work with in Game 3 of that series.
Hi, it's Gabe from the future again. Pete Alonso hit a 3-run home run after I recorded that segment, and Kodai Senga will be your Game 1 NLDS starter.
Oh, yes, I forgot to check in on that. But that brings us over to our question of the day from us to you and you to us. Who are you rooting for this MLB postseason? Mine's real simple. I'm just going to go ahead of it. Let's go Yankees, even though I'm totally a lifelong Dodgers fan who's totally always loved them ever since way before Shohei Ohtani's been there. No, really, I am a lifelong Yankees fan because I'm a bad person. And yeah, I hope the Yankees win this year. It's the most excited I've been for a Yankees postseason run since 2009. So let's go.
You disgust me.
Of course, you're a Yankees fan. You cheer for
you
the Hawks, too.
Jimbo. Exactly.
You like the 49ers and Cowboys too?
No,
How about
no,
the
I like the
Lakers?
Browns. Actually, I like so I'm real hard spectrum on that. And actually, I remember when I told my dad when I was like, yeah, I mean, I like the Yankees. He's like, where'd I go wrong raising you? And I was like, I know where. You showed me Ken Burns' baseball when I was about 14. I was impressionable. How can you watch Ken Burns' baseball and not be like, yeah, man, I'm with the Yankees now? It was either going to be the Yankees or Red Sox, and I hate the Red Sox.
I don't know. I think we all watched it, and we didn't do that.
At 14?
I don't know when I watched it, but I watched it.
Too impressionable.
Goodness gracious.
This season, I'm making a bold statement. Brown wears the crown. It's going to be the Padres.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I totally forgot they had Yuki Matsui, so I'm actually kind of want to see them pull it out. That'd be fun. What about you, Matt?
For me, I'm always fond of teams that haven't done it or haven't been there in a while. So I'm looking at the Padres, who still somehow have never won a World Series before.
Yeah, no.
And I'm also looking at the Guardians because they haven't won a World Series in ridiculously long time. So I don't know if they end up in the postseason. I'm not sure who I root for. Probably the Guardians. The World Series. There we go. Probably the Guardians because the Padres are in the NL West.
That's fair. I feel like I saw a thing that the Padres are the only expansion team from the 60s who haven't won a World Series yet. That's wild.
Well, I mean, there's only like 7 teams left
true.
after the Rangers.
Yep, that's
Padres
true.
are among them. I think they're the only ones in the field with that factoid, as I recall.
The Mariners also have not won the World Series.
17.
They haven't even made it to the World Series.
Yeah, no, but
that's different. The Mariners are barely a franchise
season.
And what about you, Mike?
Uh,
I'm a Phillies. Need Phillies.
Oh, yes,
Love
right.
Phillies.
Well,
also, maybe the Brewers don't have a title?
Oh, yeah. There's
Either way, they all
Brewers
were
don't.
rank high for the Phillies, so.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
demolished. Like I don't want to see close games. I don't want to see good games. I want to see 0-50 my team.
Oh man,
I get to be a bandwagon fan because my local team's not in the postseason, and Gabe will join me in pouring one out.
Hey man, my local team hasn't been in the MLB since 2003, so like
yeah, because
they
US
remain on Twitter. They have a Twitter presence.
And the Nationals did win, so that almost kind of ish counts. It counted for me at the time.
You can console all the Oakland fans who listen to us.
Oh yeah, that sucks.
Goodness gracious! They won titles there at bare minimum. That's cool.
That's true. Yeah. Oh man, if it's Phillies Yankees, this it's gonna get tense in here.
Isn't that a rematch of 09?
Oh boy,
the last time the Yankees won.
Start
Yeah.
spreading
Wait,
the news.
Phillies won the year before, right?
I'm gonna
Against the
vomit on the
Rays.
floor.
Yeah. Okay, well, anyway, that was a very fun, spirited discussion. So we want to know who you're rooting for this MLB postseason. And now that we're at the end of the show, thank you as always for listening. It was great to have all of you here for the regular season. Postseason's coming up, and things are going to get a lot more fun, a lot more intense. Check out PLTV, like, comment, and do all that YouTube subscribe stuff. Do your taxes and brush your teeth and all that stuff too. We'll see you next time. Take care.
Vitamins and prayers.
Bye.